In this palace, time has long forgotten its meaning. Behind these stone walls, a queen sits alone, her crown taken, her mind questioned, her story buried beneath centuries of rumor. They called her Juana la Loca, Joanna the Mad. But was she truly mad? Or was she simply a woman who loved in a world ruled by men and power? Our story begins in the year 1479, in the Kingdom of Castile. Joanna was born into the most powerful family in Spain, the daughter of Queen Isabella I of Castile and King Ferdinand II of Aragon, known as the Catholic monarchs. They were the architects of a new Spain, a unified Christian kingdom rising from centuries of war. But for their daughter, this unity would become both a blessing and a curse. Joanna grew up surrounded by power, faith, and duty. She was not expected to rule. She was the third child. Her destiny was to marry, not to reign. Educated in Latin, philosophy, music, and theology, Joanna was exceptionally intelligent, too intelligent for the comfort of her time. Her teachers noted her sharp mind and deep emotions, but court whispers said she questioned things no princess should. From her earliest years, she was torn between obedience and thought, between faith and reason, between her own heart and her family's ambition. At just 16, Joanna's life changed forever. In 1496, she was married to Philip the Handsome, Duke of Burgundy, the son of Emperor Maximilian I of the Holy Roman Empire. It was a union designed not for love, but for politics. As Joanna left Spain, she wept, not out of fear, but perhaps from a premonition. In a foreign land among strangers, she would discover love's beauty and its cruelty. When she met Philip, he was everything a young princess could dream of: handsome, charming, magnetic. It was said they fell in love at first sight. For a time, passion consumed them both. But court life in Flanders was cruel. Philip was adored by women and intoxicated by power. Soon, rumors of infidelity reached Joanna's ears. Her jealousy was fierce, her pain uncontrollable. Servants whispered that the Spanish princess was losing her mind. But was it madness or heartbreak? Her love became her prison, and every tear she shed became another weapon for those who wished to silence her. In 1504, tragedy struck. Queen Isabella of Castile, one of the most powerful rulers in Europe, was dead. By law, her crown passed to her daughter, Joanna. But the new Queen of Castile was far away, under the control of her husband Philip and his advisors. Neither her father Ferdinand nor her husband wanted her to rule. They began to whisper, "Joanna is unstable. Joanna is unfit to rule." Documents were forged, letters written, physicians bribed, all to prove that the queen was mad. Madness was not only a diagnosis, it was a weapon. Stripped of power, surrounded by spies, Joanna's isolation deepened. Her husband took control of Castile, leaving her a prisoner within her own court. And then, as if fate were mocking her, tragedy struck again. In 1506, Philip fell ill and died suddenly at the age of 28. Some said it was fever, others whispered of poison. For Joanna, the world stopped turning. After Philip's death, something extraordinary and terrifying happened. Joanna refused to let his body be buried. She ordered his coffin to travel with her across the countryside, night after night, for months. Wherever she went, the coffin followed, guarded, perfumed, and veiled. People watched in horror and pity. Some called her mad, others called it love beyond reason. But perhaps Joanna was not insane. Perhaps she simply could not let go, because the world had already taken everything else from her. In 1509, her father Ferdinand declared Joanna incapable of ruling. She was locked away in the palace of Tordesillas, along with her youngest daughter. For the next 46 years, she would live in near total isolation. Her son, Charles V, inherited her crown and the empire she had made possible. Yet he, too, left her confined, a silent symbol of power's cruelty. Visitors spoke of a pale woman praying endlessly, her eyes distant, her voice soft. Others said she stared from her window, watching the road, as if waiting for someone who would never return. In 1555, Joanna of Castile, once Queen of Spain, wife of an emperor, mother of kings, died alone in her cell. She was 75 years old, but her story never truly died. They called her Juana la Loca, Joanna the Mad, and in the end, perhaps, they were right. After decades of isolation, heartbreak, and betrayal, her mind began to fade. In the dark halls of Tordesillas, she spoke to shadows, whispered to memories, and feared the world beyond her window. Reality and dreams melted into one. But madness did not come from within her. It was built piece by piece by the world around her, by the men who feared her power, by the crown that crushed her spirit, and by a love that burned too long in the silence of her heart. Joanna's story is not just one of insanity. It is a mirror of human fragility, how power, love, and loss can consume even the strongest of souls. She died as she lived, a queen without freedom, and a woman whose heart refused to stop feeling. And perhaps that is why, after all these centuries, we still remember her, not only as the Mad Queen, but as the woman who felt too much in a world that felt nothing at all. Thank you for watching. If Joanna's story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of power, love, and the forgotten souls of history.